Good morning, I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. I'm about to walk into the barn for another day of chaos because it was chaos all night, and I don't know how much longer 60-some-year-old people working on their own can do this. We are both so sore. Like, we are sore with muscles we never thought we had, not to mention exhaustion. But we can't ignore the sheep, so let's go inside and see what happened overnight. So while I'm in the barn, this is what's happening out here. Arnie's taking manure out, so we have room to clean out the barns. How's it going?
Shitty.
It's a crappy job. Arnie's doing manure. I'm in charge of all the barns today. Right now I'm doing chores in the coveralls, making sure everyone's fed, making sure they have their salt and mineral, making sure everyone's healthy. The same usual chores we do all year round. Same thing in the replacement ewe barn and the ram lambs, the older ones. It's just a matter of maintaining these groups, so it's just the basic chores that are happening in here: waters, salt and minerals, feeding them their hay and a little bit of grain, and just making sure that nobody's off. Luckily, this barn is pretty low maintenance when they're at this age, so everyone looks good. Everybody seems to be okay in this barn because we have quite a crowd in here now. We have a little bit of sunlight today, and all the lambs are laying down on the sunny side beside the feeder here. Oh, this guy just got called in. That's extremely nice ram. So we got some more laying over here. Still pretty loud in here as moms and lambs try to sort each other out. But I don't see anyone who looks like they're suffering or in stress. And that's what we are mainly looking for at this point. A lamb that's looking weak or crying because it hasn't found its mom. But I don't see any sign of that. Oh, there's Angel's mom again. Chewy's mom again. So here's what's happening in the barn today. This is the little ewe who had the big twin lambs. She's being a great mom, and I'm not interfering with her at all. Right next to her, making all the noise, is a first-time mom who is causing us a lot of grief. She, last night, right when we were going to bed, she had a ewe lamb, and she seems to like it, but she doesn't want to let it nurse. So she's just been tied up, and now the lamb's sleeping, so I'm going to untie her now. But when she's tied up, then the lamb can nurse, and we have to keep tying her up to let the lamb nurse because she's trying to reject the lamb. So that's our attempt at that. Right here. Honey, get your head out of there. Go that way. This mom just had these two lambs like seconds ago. And I cleaned out the jug, and they're in here now. She's got a boy and a girl. They look really nice. Good size on them. Mom's got lots of milk. I don't foresee any problems there. Over here, this girl, she's pretty nervous too. But she has a lamb she's looking after. She had a lamb last night, a girl. This is the mom with the 2 little lambs. She's doing fine with them. They're just really little, and she's a little bit clumsy. This ewe here, spilled some of her hay out. There we go. Hi, sweetheart. There you go. Did you get in your tuft? Oh, dear. So this one, she had a lamb last night. Really nice ram lamb. This one had twins last night. They're flaked out. She seems to be a good mom. I don't see any problems here either. This ewe had a lamb right at lunchtime. She's one of our 9-year-old Texel girls. She has a real little humdinger ram lamb who's really nice. She's also got milk. Problem with the Texels, and this is why we brought the size up on our Suffolks. See how that udder for that lamb is basically at his head level if he were to lift his head up? When it's like that, it's easy for him to find the nipple. If you have these shorter-legged sheep, see how her udder goes down to her knees, but she's got short legs. So the lamb is much taller than her udder. So you have to have a really smart lamb in the first 24 hours, basically, that can figure out that he's got to probably get down on his knees or even lie down at the udder and nurse. Once they get older, they don't care where the udder is. They'll drink anywhere, but it's that learning curve. And if they don't drink within the first 24 hours or can't figure it out, they can get weak because they haven't been nursing. And when they get weak, it's kind of a vicious cycle. If you get weak, you don't feel like nursing because you're weak. And it's a downward spiral. So that's why I'm constantly looking. Now this guy, I brought him over to the mom just a few minutes ago and put him on his knees and put the nipple in his mouth, and he sucked. So the more he feels the nipple in his mouth and realizes that he's on his knees getting it, the quicker he'll latch on. But that's the problems I have with these older Texels. It's not that they don't have milk, they do, it's that their lambs have a hard time reaching it. And we used to have a lot of British Suffolks who are shorter legged, and that was the problem we had. The lambs just took, we had to intervene, like help them find it at first. So we brought them up a little taller, not to monster sheep, but to our Canadian Suffolk size, what we call, which is the size where the lamb doesn't have to get on its knees to nurse. So that's the reason we did it. It's not that we wanted bigger sheep or didn't like the smaller sheep, it's that we wanted less labor, and we found short-legged sheep require more labor. We are out of jug space again, so we have done some remodeling in this barn. Right now we're moving Big Betty and her 2 lambs into a new pen I've set up. We've joined the 2 remaining white groups back here into one, and we're putting some of the moms and lambs who were in jugs back here. These are the ones that we want to watch a little longer. So we're gonna just open this up for Big Betty and hers. And we're gonna let them into the pen. Go join those guys. Go on, Big Betty. Go on. There we go. So these are the lambs in here that I'm topping up with bottles. Tiny's in here. I'm not topping them up with a bottle, but it's this pen is going to get watched more closely. So with Tiny being in here, I can watch him more closely when I'm in the bottle, when I'm bottle feeding lambs. So far I've got 5 out here this morning. I just had a Suffolk have a lamb here. So I'm quickly gonna, oh, Buddy ran in there and she didn't like that. Good mommy. Sorry, Buddy. So I'm gonna quickly shovel out the jugs and get that mom in a jug and get her looked at. Onwards. This is the girl. I'm gonna tag this one today. This is the one that maybe got mixed up with the other ewe. Both this one and the other mom and lamb are getting tagged right after I put the phone down. And so they don't get mixed up again, I'm going to put one mom in one group and one mom in the other, just so that they stay with the right lambs. But they've done fine, so I'm sure they are with the right lambs. This mom had a lamb last night. He's asleep now, but she's also doing fine. This is Fiona. Is this Fiona? Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, this is Fiona, who had her lambs yesterday. They're still doing great, and I'm not giving them any extra milk or anything. This one is the one that had the triplets and lost two, but the other guy, he's small, but he's got a big belly on him, so she's looking after him. This one had lambs last night. She's got twins in here. She's got a lot of milk, as you can tell by that udder. And she's doing well. This mom had lambs last night as well. She's got, what do you have? Single in here. This mom here had this lamb yesterday afternoon, I think it was. And they're okay. This mom had her lambs this morning. Lamb, she has a single. He's doing great. And this mom had twin lambs this morning. And they seem to be doing fine too. This mom had lambs 2 days ago. This mom has only half an udder, so this mom, I'm topping one of her lambs up. The other one is nursing off of her, so I'm actually glad I'm only bottle feeding one. And this is the other mom where we thought there might have been a mix-up, and this lamb's getting tagged today too, and they're doing great. Usually if I had taken this lamb and given this lamb to the other ewe and vice versa, and it wasn't their lambs, what they tend to do is hit the lamb. And both of them loved the lambs that I chose immediately, so I'm guessing I got it right, because the moms are rarely confused on that point. So that's all these guys. I'm going to untie that ewe because she's driving me crazy with that screaming, but she's making me mad too because I just hate it when ewes reject their lambs. So we got a Dorset group in here, a white group. There's 10 in here now, so it's full. We don't put more than 10 in at a time because we want to make sure they can adjust to this amount. We don't like it overcrowded. You could eat, I know a lot of people would put probably twice as many, but I do find that when there's too many, there's too much confusion. Lambs can get stepped on, and then you're running into the broken legs, the injured legs, and all that stuff. So there's 10 in here, but as you can see, the lambs are just coming so fast. You can see that mom just hit that lamb because that's not her lamb. Lamb's not doing anything, but it was in her way. So moms can be pretty ruthless with the lambs too. So they're coming in so fast and furious, and Arnie's doing manure today. So instead of bringing them to the coverall, since we had so many white ones lamb, we managed to gather up all the rest of the white ewes and put them on this one side here. They all fit comfortably for lambing. And on the other side, I'm putting the white sheep that I may have a few more issues with. For instance, who are you? Oh, this mom, I don't know, she's got milk, but it's really fine. It's hard to describe, but when you pull the milk out of it, it comes out, but in a very fine stream. And until lambs get really established at really sucking it hard, what can happen is the lambs, again, they give up because they're not getting enough. So I'm topping her lambs up. This big girl here, she's got triplets, and actually her other triplet is in here with the mom who I said, does she love it? Does she not? Well, that mom's in here with her lamb, and this mom is in here with the two she's left with and Tiny. She loves Tiny, but I'm not feeding them, but they're in here only because she has Tiny, and I don't want Tiny to go to the coverall until he's bigger. So I'll see if she's with them. I just put most of these in here so they're a little nervous about their groups. But you see, there she is. And there's her ewe lamb, and her ewe lamb's really big. And there's Tiny with her. And I am not feeding any of them bottles. This one over here, the little ram lamb, 51, who's with his 51 sister, this is actually his real mom. But he's been with that sister now since he was born, and that mom. So now he's bonded there. So he's being raised as a twin with her. She's 51. And these guys are 50. But the only risk for little Tiny in here, move Mom, I'm trying to show Tiny and you're in the way. The only risk for Tiny in here is when the sheep go up to the trough to eat, that if he's standing at the trough, they could run right over him and he would easily get squished. So we do have the underfeeder escape hatch in this pen, so he should be okay. But that's always going to be his risk. So the quicker he grows, the better it is for him. But as of right now, these guys are doing really well. But I feel that they're a little safer in a smaller pen like this than going out to the coverall just yet. But someone asked how Tiny was doing. And as to whether Tiny's going to be full size when he grows up, my guess is he is going to be a little smaller, but in a year he'll be a good size because his mom and dad are both good sized sheep, and he will be smaller than that sister, I would guess, but he will probably not stand out in any way. He's just got to get to that point, and that's always a risk when you have a tiny lamb. And then these guys, see, I got the old Texels in here. They all have milk, but they all have those big udders because, you know, when you age, gravity takes its course, and when you've had twins year after year after year for 9 years, you get a little saggy. And so I'm topping these guys up so they know me. Mums have milk, and hopefully as they get older, they will stay with moms and not need me anymore. Right now I'm in the pen with Lazarus and his mom. Because there's a drinker here that they have to step up on over there, wasn't sure that she would do that, so every now and then I come in with a pail of warm water, and she just drank that much of it, quite a lot. And now she's gone to the trough to eat. So, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to jinx things. Because she's still straining and stuff, but Lazarus is eating there, nursing off her. Maybe she at least drank quite a bit, and she is eating still, and she is nursing him still. She's still sore, but otherwise she's good. Now this one's gonna come drink her water, but she already had a lot of it, so that's okay. Just checking on the Suffolk barn, and this is how you can tell that they're really heavy in lamb. They just can't get comfortable, so they sit like a dog to ease their stomach a little bit. Give them room to chew their cud like that. Poor girls. But you can see how this pen has really gone down with the amount of sheep. Where I think the last ewe that came in was 85. And you see, this is how moms can lay on their lambs. She is actually laying on this lamb, on the back legs anyway. But sometimes they'll lay on their head, and that's how they get suffocated. This lamb's okay, and it's probably cozy. But, Mom, really? That lamb looks a little squished. I might just pull it out a bit. It was actually quite pinned in there. I had to haul him out. But yeah, if that was the head, not the legs, that lamb would be dead right now. The mums I don't know, they can't feel it. They don't understand it. But the lamb's okay. Fiona, I don't want to admit that it was you. What were you doing sitting on your lammy? Keeping him warm? Okay. Here's another little lamb. Just nibbling on Mom. This guy just got tagged and looks like he's gonna go have a little nap beside Mommy here. Oh, he's gotta scratch it, make a good comfy spot. There he goes. I'll go over, see him. It's hard to find that perfect spot. There we go. All settled in. Like you might just see a placenta coming off. I think she's gonna lose it right now. until that placenta comes all the way out, they tend not to have as much milk. They'll still have milk, but they're still basically in labor when the placenta's there. So they have to pass that placenta, and then the body starts producing more milk because the body knows that she's done lambing now. Remember, that's a nice healthy looking placenta, nice clear, nice pink red color. Not the prettiest thing, but it's a healthy one. Yes, it is, Mommy. An unhealthy one would be brownish and have... Oh, Mom. See, now Mom's confused because it's dragging around behind her. Don't step on your lambs. It's just a placenta. This is the one with her little lambs. They always snuggle up together. And that one was born today, and it's figured out the nursing thing. Because she's a good height, her udder's a good height, it all matches and goes together. This guy was born today too. I walked away for just a few minutes and it looks like her placenta is pretty well come off. So we'll take it out of here. You can lose your placenta, honey. Looks like she got a little string of it hanging on there. Is that it? No. Part of it dropped off. She's got a little string left still. But we'll get rid of this one. Because if it stays in the pen, it can get pretty smelly pretty quickly. Now that it's quiet, my job is to find out who the dads for all these lambs are. So this is the little book that I keep, and when I go around and record the sheep, I'm recording them in this book. It goes on to my reader, but I keep a paper record with me all the time. When I do their final recording of who lambed, that's when I tag them and everything. The recorder, at that point, I'll put in who the dad was and who the mom was, and then the lambs will be assigned a number at that time. But when they're just born in the jug, I want to know right away what order they were born in, because that helps me making the decision in who to let out of the jug first. So I've got them recorded up to 74, Quincy, and 45F had 2 lambs. They haven't been tagged yet, so there's no number beside them. But if they have been tagged, then the number is there. And if they have a number, I know that they're in my recorder as well. So until they are assigned a number, they are not on my computer. And then if there's any comments, I'll write them in here as well. So these are the 2 that could be mixed up. So if I do a DNA thing and they're from the same dad, Hamish, so that will work out okay. And they're both registered Dorsets. But if this one doesn't match with her, I know for a fact it matches with this one. That could be a possible mix-up, so I'll write that down. So if it doesn't work out, I know exactly who the parents are. So right now, when we do the breeding groups, I have papers like this, and it will tell me the ram. Like this is Hamish's breeding group. It tells me when he was put in, when he was taken out, and it lists all the ewes that were in his group. And as they lamb, I write the date they lambed on that paper as well. But when I'm in here and I have a white sheep, what I do is I look for WH115, and I have 2 Dorset groups right now. So I look for WH115 on that page, and I don't see it on that side. So I look down here. And it can take a while. That's funny, I don't see it there. Okay, so actually that one isn't on either of those pages. And if you recall, we had some stragglers in the white group. I think there were 10 from the fall. So if it's not in Hamish's group or Sheriff's group, I know for a fact it came out of the other pen from Fargo. So that's who the dad of that ewe would be. Anyway, that's how I record everything. So I've got, I got to start at 75. I got to start all the way to 85. So I've got 10 daddies to find out right now. And here's our little ewe with the big lambs. She's got one snuggled right up in her belly there. Some mothers oblige and stand up to nurse their lambs. Others say, you know where it is, and they let the lamb nurse while they're laying down. Like this guy. That one was too, but now she's done. Darkness is starting to set in. I've done all the chores that I can do for now. Arnie's still working on the manure. It's very cold, and that's why you can really see the heat coming off the manure out there. He'll work till dark, so while he finishes off here, I'll go and make din-dins. So as Arnie does the manure, I'm gonna go make dinner, and I'm gonna thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again tomorrow for the next day at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.